everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Usually with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Hello, T.
What up, fam?
What up, kid?
How you doing?
Doing all right. Oh, I can't say that. That was popular. Saying "What up, kid" was only cool in the '90s.
Oh,
Jay informed me of that the other day.
Dated.
Shit. I'm a dork.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had plans to do the show this morning. Jay had some work stuff going on, and had to be out by like noon or something. I woke up. I just felt like shit this morning. So I was like, you know what? I'll see if T can do it, Jay. I'm sorry, but I wasn't. There was no way.
'Tis the season.
I still feel like shit, sort of, but
Cold as balls out there.
yeah, it's cold. Not that I was out there, but I've been in here.
I know.
It's probably why I'm sick, just being in the house all the
Probably,
time,
honestly, for sure.
I feel like I get worse on the microphone. I feel like I don't know if I need to like clean the mic more or something,
Probably.
but I swear to God that certain mics when I've used them, it's like, do I have like germs trapped in this thing from just yapping all the time, and it's making me sick every time I like lean into it.
Yeah, sponge is like a petri dish.
Yeah.
Just catching everything.
I know, right? I need one of those screens or whatever, the wind screens. Anyway, I didn't want to cancel the show completely, so thank you, T, for coming by.
My pleasure.
Ron Bennington's on the show today. I know a lot of you won't know who Ron is, but I've been a fan of Ron Bennington for many, many years. He's another New York
Been around forever. Yeah.
show host. Yeah, he's done a couple legendary shows, the Ron and Ron show, and then the Ron and Fez show, which was fucking hilarious, so good in New York City. And on the same channel as Opie and Anthony, so they would kind of, it was O&A and then Ron and Fez, and such a great show. And Ron is so funny, and such a good straight man, but just murdering while he's playing that role. And his interviews, he's got a couple of interview shows that are just legendary. Like live audience, you have a raffle just to get a ticket to get in. They draw because, there's so many people that want to go. And I was looking at the list, because there's just like, he's got one that's just comedy. Mm-hmm. And so it's like anybody who's anybody in the world of comedy has been in there. Name it, they've been there. But when I was looking at the list of his Unmasked show, it's called Unmasked. And it's just like, I can't imagine how you get Phil Collins in studio.
Really?
Stevie Van Zandt, famous for not doing many interviews. Julian Lennon. We had Julian Lennon in studio once when he was putting out an album, but so rare. Buzz Aldrin, Spike Lee, Willie Nelson, Cheap Trick, Niles Rodgers, Ted Danson. You like Ted Danson? Judd Apatow.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just, it shows you the level there. So anyways, he's coming on. He'll be on like an hour. I recorded it yesterday, and he didn't disappoint. I was glad. You always hate to talk to someone you've been a fan of, and if they're a douchebag or an asshole, you're like, man, that stinked. But he was great. You were here, E.
Yeah, it was real good.
So we'll do that in about an hour. So again, Ron Bennington, creepswithkidstour.com for tickets, and they did spell creeps, Kreeps. So we'll look forward to that. Anything else going on in the world? I smoke, and I know things.
That is true.
I have not seen that shirt on you, T.
It came in a can box.
Oh,
yes.
Are you familiar with the Cannabox, E?
I'm not.
It's like those little monthly subscription things that you
It's
get.
like the wine club for stoners.
Gotcha.
Just comes once a month. You never know what you're going to get. It
Really?
comes with like a shirt and a bowl and some stickers. And
How much do you pay for
stuff.
that?
I think that was a gift, wasn't it?
It was. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was
I wonder how much someone would pay to get stoner gifts in the mail.
I think it's about 20 or 30 bucks a month, give or take, and depending on how you can do it for
often
like
do
a
you feel like it
month
would
or
really be worth
6
it?
months. Well, hey, I've got some pretty good shirts and I've got some pretty good utensils out of it. So.
Yeah.
I would give a
not
fuck
bad.
about the shirts, but the utensils, I guess, whatever.
Dude, they sent him Bob Ross T-shirts.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. And some different bowls and stuff. They are stoners, though, so how often do they forget to send you your monthly shit?
It's funny. We've had a couple of issues, and then trying to deal with them has
Sorry about
actually
that,
been a
bro.
nightmare. Yeah. Oh, dude, sorry, man. No, we're gonna fix that. I'm like, I ended up getting my shirt. And it was like a small. I'm like, hey, come on, dude. Like, send
I'm
them
6'3", 240.
I'm like, I'll send this one back if you want, but it's clearly
bro,
it's a
keep
2X.
it.
Oh yeah, no problem. We'll fix it.
We were so crashed
Next
last
week, so I got they sent me a 2X to fix the shirt, and then the next month I get it, and it's a fucking small again.
I mean, look,
I'm
it's
like,
a good
come on,
idea.
you didn't fix
What
the
did you
records.
expect,
I
T?
know.
Come on. I mean,
what you get.
They're doing the best they can.
It's a nice idea. I get it as a nice idea for a gift and whatnot, but like honestly, to me, like I'm sorry, gotta be like paying for something like that would be very much like, dude.
Yeah,
if
but
I wanted,
you wouldn't pay for a wine club or a book club or a fruit of the month club.
well, because
There's
I
all
think
kinds of those things.
I think because I just would. If I wanted it, I'd get it. Like I would, if I needed a bowl, I'd just look.
You
for
don't think
a
there's
bowl.
something cool about the
Kind
like
of,
surprise nature? It's
Not
like Christmas
really,
morning
yeah.
every
It
month.
does. It comes, the pot shows up. Hey, what do I get? What do we get? It's funny. The first time I got it, I didn't realize that they always roll, like it comes with a T-shirt, a bowl, like all different stuff, whatever. And it's different every month, but they roll the bowl up inside the T-shirt. Makes great sense now, but the first time I get it, I had no idea, and I go, "Oh fuck, look at my shirt!" And I whip it out like that, and the bowl just goes flying across the room and shatters in a million pieces.
Yeah, I was gonna say they give you glass ones from time to time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, oh yeah, that was smart. They put it in the shirt, but there could have been a note on top or something that said,
Yeah.
"Hey, this is your first time. Don't whip the shirt out and chuck the bowl."
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable thing that you would want to tell people.
Yeah.
Well, I also don't think probably that many people would just whip the shirt out.
I knew the movie was talking about though.
Yeah, it's
That's
rolled
the
up,
thing. It's
so you
rolled up,
get-
you're just like,
yep,
wow,
yeah.
just kind of whack it out. I don't think I would do that
Yeah, I
personally,
wouldn't for sure,
But I'm familiar with the move,
Yeah.
so I think it's justified.
Right on.
I would rule that bona fide.
Okay.
I was so excited. It was my first one. I just couldn't wait to rip into
Yeah.
it.
And then you got to clean up your broke bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks. Anyways, I know it's this day in history.
Oh, shit. I gotta go print it then. My bad.
Well, you know what I was
know
going
how
to
you
say?
were gonna do this.
Well, it's kind of a different thing, and since we got Ron coming on, he'll be on for a while. Why don't we do it in members area today? I know you've
Sure.
done that before, but maybe me, you, and T can go through it in members area.
Yep, that's fine.
It's
We
been
were
a
just
bit-
talking about that I keep getting stuck on these Thursday shows. I keep coming in, and I never get this day
Well,
in
if
history
you want
with
to
E.
do one, we can. There's just a lot going on in the news.
We literally had this conversation before you came down, trying
Yeah.
to figure out why. Was it me?
It's
do
not
I
you.
not deserve it?
No, it's because Jay is finicky about it and picky and wants it,
Yeah.
and I don't give a shit that much.
Fair enough.
And so it's like, well, without Jay here, whatever.
Although it's a kind of, I guess, annoying in a sense because I do always do something. So
I know.
like
you
the
go to
idea of-
Wikipedia, copy and paste.
Yeah, right.
take
All
shit, but
all
good
that
at
work
15
going to
minutes.
waste.
Not true.
Well, we will do it at some point today.
Fine.
We'll just do it, probably in the members area.
We'll do it like
Fair
that.
enough?
Yeah.
Good.
And then you can be a part of it, T. You don't have to be left out.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. I did spend part of the day watching the House Judiciary Committee
Riveting.
impeachment hearings.
Yeah.
I love the. I do kind of love the nature of the. It was day 2. They think this is going to wrap up soon, and they're going to bring. The Democrats will bring their impeachment, whatever's to the president. Blah blah blah. But the fucking Republicans took the gloves off today.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it got kind of interesting for a bit there. That fucking weird-headed Matt Gaetz. You know him from Florida.
Oh, yeah.
We seem to. He's really fucking with these guys. And he went straight after. He's like, I want something added into the impeachment shit. The stuff about Hunter Biden and blah, 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 and Burisma. And I was like, ooh, okay, all right. He's going right there. And then this dude introduces a 3-line amendment that explicitly mentions Hunter and the Burisma. It would change the articles of impeachment to allege that Trump's call to the president of Ukraine was seeking info on Hunter Biden, not his father Joe, which would undermine the allegation that it was an abuse of power. It would mention a well-known corrupt company, Burisma, and its corrupt hiring of Hunter Biden. Now, that doesn't sound so crazy, except Hunter Biden and Burisma, this is what he said, that's an interesting story. I think just about every American knows there's something up with that. 86 grand a month, no experience working for some foreign government while your dad is VP of the U.S. Is there anyone who believes this is okay? And then he pulls out a New Yorker magazine article that chronicles Hunter Biden's past.
Oh, wow. Did you start reading it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, cataloged a Hertz rental agent that told a reporter of finding drug paraphernalia after Hunter got into a car crash. He asked how someone who could not resolve his own dispute with Hertz rental car after leaving cocaine and a crack pipe in the car got a lucrative job on the board of an energy firm. Like, shit.
What are they doing while he's like? Is he allowed as much as time as he wants? What is this? Why is he able to?
No, they've got like 5 minutes each.
Okay, so what? Okay.
He came prepared.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Oh, yeah. He said, I'm not passing judgment on anyone's challenges in life, whatever, but don't forget he was forced to leave the Navy when they found coke on him, too. He failed a coke test, and they had to kick him out of there. And then the headline grabbing turns into his romantic life after the death of his brother, Bo, when this dude started fucking his brother's wife when his brother died.
Didn't know that part.
Yeah. It was a weird story, like right away. He started banging his brother, long battle with brain cancer, dies, and then this guy's like, eh.
I am my brother's keeper.
He said Hunter said at that point he had not slept for several days. Driving east on Interstate 10 just beyond Palm Springs, he lost control of his car, jumped the median, skidded to a stop on the shoulder of the road. He called Hertz, which came to collect the damaged car and give him a new one. The Hertz rental officer told me they found a crack pipe in the car on one of the consoles, a line of white powder residue. Beau Biden's Attorney General badge was on the dashboard, so his brother's Attorney General badge. Hertz called the police, and officers there filed a narcotics offense report listing the items seized, including a... How stupid is Hunter Biden? You get into a car crash.
You called them.
Yeah.
And it's not like they just showed up.
No.
You had some time to at least clean up the fucking scene.
They find in his car, the police, when they get there, a baggie containing white powdery substance, a Secret Service business card, credit cards, Hunter Biden's driver's license. And then he says, it's hard to believe that Burisma would hire
His
Hunter
driver's
Biden.
License?
His own
just
driver's
say?
license, yeah.
But left it in the car.
Yeah.
This guy's a fucking moron.
Dude, he's got a baggie with Coke in it, a line on the dashboard.
Hey, was he using his driver's license to
Probably to fucking get a straight line. It's like, dude,
Genius.
to the dashboard. Oh, the Hertz guy's pulling up. Hold on. Just blow that shit off the dashboard.
Wow.
You can't ditch that shit before the cops get there?
You would hope.
Fuck. Yeah, it's hard to believe that Burisma would hire Hunter Biden to resolve their international disputes when he could not resolve his own dispute with Hertz rental car over leaving Coke and a crack pipe in the car. It's kind of harsh for one of these hearings.
Yeah.
Gaetz was himself arrested for drunk driving years ago, so they include his fucking mug in in the photos. He was like 26 though. He had admitted to having 2 beers, refused the field sobriety test. What do they do when you do that? Like.
You automatically go to jail. They automatic
license suspension.
Yeah, they
for
suspend
like
your
a year or a
license.
month or
They
6 months?
take you, and then you have to do blood. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to buy some time, sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. Depends on your situation. But
The charges were eventually dropped though. So in the end,
all
he
on who
won.
you know.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, and then he also quoted from the allegations levied at him by his former wife Kathleen during their ugly public divorce. She said. He had received a large diamond and a scotch worth thousands of dollars from a Chinese businessman. And, people are curious about this Burisma thing. Well, his baby mama, he's got a baby mama. While he was going through divorce, he knocked up another chick, I think a stripper, some stupid shit. And she is now grilling him and suing him in court, demanding to know how much money he got from Burisma, because that's private. So... That's December 23rd in Little Rock, Arkansas.
yeah, I thought he was making 50 or 86 grand a month or whatever it is.
Yeah, and she found that out and is going, really? Because you're going to be paying child support for this fucking 8-month-old toddler, and you want to pay me fucking what? And you were making what?
Here's your $750 a month.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. I know it's boring to a lot of people, but it is what it is.
No, that hearing's been funny. I haven't watched a ton of it. I listen to it when I'm driving.
Yeah.
And it's literally, they go
Where
back
are
and forth.
they airing that?
NPR.
NPR,
Yeah, that's what I listen to most of the time when I'm driving around. Stay in the know.
You scream NPR guy to me.
I do, don't
yeah,
I?
You
right?
really do.
Yeah. I keep you guessing. But no, it's literally just, they go back and forth. The Dem, Republican. Republican. They go back and forth. And it's like, he did it. It's a quid pro quo. And then it goes to a Republican. No, he didn't. There's no proof of that. He did not do that.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to they literally just say,
but they
yes, he
keep
did.
ramping
No, he
it up,
didn't.
too.
Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. And it's like it's just nauseating.
For a week, they're saying the same thing.
The same thing, exactly.
like-
And everybody says the exact same thing. That's the funniest part about it. They all get 5 minutes, and they basically come out and they say the exact same thing. And then they go, it's
And they ramp it up. And I
hysterical.
got to tell you, they're good because most of them are lawyers, first off. A lot of them are. They're well-spoken. They've gotten to this nerd level of national politics. And so you get a Democrat up there, and it's like, this is outrageous. And the other side of the aisle, it's shameful what's going on here. I just want to remind everybody, and the facts are indisputable. And goes through this whole thing, you're like, wow, that sounds terrible. That guy's guilty. And then the Republican gets up. I would like to remind my brother counsel on the other side of the aisle that this is an outrage and a sham and a scam. And these facts are indisputable. And they run off a list, and I'm like, this is an outrage. He's so innocent. Fuck. But they just, and then it's like,
And they just go back and
all
forth,
day I'm
back
going,
and forth.
oh, he's guilty as shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
but
no, he's not.
he's innocent as hell. Oh, Ooh, he's going down for this one.
It's like a tennis match.
It is. But you never get the volley never ends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We never get to match point. It's just these assholes yelling at each other. And, I mean, the Democrats, in my opinion, have done so much damage to their good name, if you will, by demanding impeachment from the moment he was inaugurated. Like that minute, they were screaming impeachment. So it's like, here we are 3 years later.
Just waiting on bated breath for one thing that they could actually try to make it stick.
It's like you were not willing to give this guy a chance in any way.
Yeah.
Like that's just a fact. I get it. He's a weird fucking dude, but if the boy who cried wolf thing happens, where it's like, okay, I get it. He's a monster. You think he's a monster no matter what. The press thinks he's a monster no matter what. Maybe he is, but I don't know because you haven't shut the fuck up about it for 3 years.
I know. What have they actually gotten done?
Nothing.
They're so busy fucking with him.
Nothing. Unless you ask them. Then they've done everything they can to work on bipartisan nature with this president.
I did love that they went through this whole thing in impeachment and fuck this guy and he's the worst ever. And by the way, we just approved your North American USMCA the treaty or whatever, the new NAFTA.
The new NAFTA, which is the agreement with Mexico and Canada and the U.S.
You're the worst. You're the devil. Yeah, okay, we're going to prove your new deal. It's a good one.
We have 4,000 bills that we've passed through Congress, and this president is sitting on all of it. You're like, oh, God. With a bipartisan harumph, 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 gavel, gavel, gavel.
It's cyclical.
It's just, they're just fucking, I wonder if they know what kind of assholes they look like to the rest of the country. I don't
think they do. I really don't think they do.
It's all I care about. Is I wish I could actually have one of them in a room, and and just be like, dude, just between you and me. I won't tell any. I'll even keep it. But just come on, right?
Come on, you gotta know.
Come on,
you gotta know, right?
And if he said yes, I'd be like,
but if you're living in that swamp and you're just bathing in that all the time, maybe you don't. Maybe you are shielded from what. Sure. Although, if you go out to a rally anywhere, which they all have to do, they're shaking hands, kissing babies, making phone calls to raise money. The constituents that are going to go out to those events are going to be a little loud. They're going to be the loud ones.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine going to a fucking town hall with some shitty politician? No, we wouldn't go to it. But the ones that do, they're into it. And they're going to tell you how they feel. So they probably do hear it quite a bit. But it's still, we had one day at one of the shows a couple years ago, I was going off about that whole rant about fuck these guys, these leech politicians, scumbag. And a politician fucking emailed me and was like, look, man, we're not all that. I'm like, dude, yeah, you are, because you have to be.
Prove me wrong.
No, that's not true.
It is true, E. It is, and I'll tell you why. Because if you talk about the state level or, county clerks and county, small mayors and small towns, those people probably have honest, they want to do well, they think they can help. But if you're going to elevate to that level where you're in the national stage,
you're caught in the current, man.
You can't get there, period, without making deals with people to get money, to raise enough money to even get into the game. So by the time you get there, you already owe this oil company fucking half your life. You already owe this energy company and all these other pork shit. Yeah. You owe them all for even getting you there.
I don't think that I don't agree that people at the state level owe that much. I think
no. I'm saying at the national level.
Oh, it's 100%. If you want to play the big boys, but I'm just saying even like a state senator. Like a state senator. I'm not talking the one that goes to Washington, just the one that's in Lansing. Mm-hmm. I think those people still can.
That's a pretty big position, though. State senator's not a county clerk.
I understand that, but I do believe that some of those people still can have their soul, or at least have some give and take enough that they're actually. They're still contributing in a positive way, at least in their mind.
Yeah,
they might be wrong.
Trying to.
And honestly, not to bring my brother into it, because I know I talk about him a lot with the environment.
Oh, we love Brian.
But with him, but with what he does, and he's a very liberal person compared to me. And I've had talks with him before about he has to go to politicians all the time, and so he's in Montana, which is a very small situation. They only meet once every 2 years for 6 months. They don't go every,
Yeah.
they're not there every day because it's just not enough.
Big ass state with not many people.
Right,
in
with
it.
not much going on. But my
More
point,
buffalo than people.
Yeah.
but the point would be is just that, like, again, I think that people on state levels still can have their soul intact. But if you want to go national at all, no, I disagree. I would say, yeah, you're probably right.
You know what? I won't argue that with you. And
I'm not saying
leaning
everyone
towards disagreeing with that because to even get to the state senator level, you probably have to fucking sell a little bit of your soul. I don't know if maybe you can hold on to a little bit of it, but
but I mean, what I just said was, though, like, for one, I'm not saying everyone. And also we're still in Michigan. Again, you got to talk about, if you're talking about somebody, there is a lot of states like Montana, like, that are much smaller, and these guys work real jobs. They work just fucking at the bank, and then they're a fucking kind of a state senator. So I think that, again, I'm not saying all of them, but I think that there is a possibility to make it to that level in a lot of states and still
in certain
be
states.
helping. Yeah.
I would give you that. In certain states,
Probably not California.
You probably could.
Probably
No,
not
hell no in
Texas.
California.
Not New York. I
You
mean,
you can probably get in relatively pure, but the longer you stay, the more tainted you're going
I'm
to
sure.
be.
Yeah.
I'm
Even
sure.
even with the best intentions, it's just that's just the way the machine is.
For
I mean,
you
the people at the national level, the ones that are actual leaders, are seeking out talented younger politicians coming up through the farm system, essentially.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh yeah, we recognized his talents immediately. Like, he's gonna be, he's gonna be a senator at some point. He's gonna make it to the blah 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 level. And that's no bullshit. But once you're recognized as that, dude, you're in the system now. You're trying to raise money and making deals to even get there.
But again, I think that's
not possible without doing that to the national level.
But I think that you're assuming that everybody, even I don't think everybody has these goals of being the president or a state or a national state senator. So I think that
They're there.
Yeah, because they're there because they think that it might actually be helping. Again, if you're in a lot of these states that are small states where you're literally working a job still, but then you're also
We're talking about two totally separate things, though. If you're talking about Wyoming and Montana and stuff like
but
that,
your statement was that all politicians
at the national level have fucking been paid off to support certain things for, you don't just get the UAW to vote for you.
I agree.
Right?
I don't think that you said. I didn't believe that you said the national level, but I would agree on the national level. Yes, I think they're all scumbags.
And I think the
probably.
higher you get, whether it's from the local, I'm Farmington Hills mayor, as you go up anywhere, once you start getting into state and anything above that, for sure, you're talking about having to fucking make deals. You just are, which is what made Trump kind of interesting because he didn't have any of that. He was just like, "Fuck it, I'm a billionaire."
Yeah, it was the wild card coming
that
in
was a
with
total
no real
wild
affiliation.
card. I'll be a Molotov cocktail in the swamp, blow it up.
Right.
The reality is that probably there's probably quite a few Democrats that more on the fence than the loudest ones, but they're caught up in the tide. It's so partisan right now that they don't dare fucking speak out against it because it's so divided. And same thing, there's probably a ton of Republicans that are like, oh fuck this guy, Jesus Christ, but they don't dare because it's so divided. It's literally and it's so close and so divided that one or two fucking people, one way or the other, really can change things. So you have to toe the company line. You have to toe the party line. You have to.
I said this last election, and it didn't really come true because I don't think anybody really thought this dude could win. You know what I mean? They just didn't. Hillary had already bought her fireworks shit, And so I was saying, this is going to be the first election where every single American votes, like literally every American votes.
Yeah.
Because but this year, after Trump won in 2016, 2020, you're going to have 300 million Americans vote. Yeah. Because it's like
the
no
largest
way,
turnout ever, right?
Ever to try to prevent or keep him in office, whatever. It's going to be interesting. The next year is going to get crazier and crazier. Anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on the president and whatnot, but the Time magazine cover girl, do you have that picture of that? E's favorite person on planet Earth,
I disagree.
by the way.
No, God, no.
E is
Not
in
true.
love with this girl.
Not
He's
true.
got a girlfriend, and he's in love with this girl, Greta Thunberg.
Not true. And I'm very against this, by the way. So,
Look
FYI.
at that fucking... Oh, you smug little Swede. The Swedes are such beautiful, lovely, nice people. Why is she so angry?
Right?
You're
ruining my planet.
What do you think when you think of Sweden? Nick Lidstrom, Holmstrom, nicest guys in the world.
She's got to be. She's not even blonde, really.
Yeah, she's you saying she's not full Swede?
I'm thinking that she's got to be tainted in some way.
Yeah. Well, she's
a Swede mutt, Euro mutt.
She is Time Magazine's Person of the Year.
Mm.
Now, Person of the Year does not mean greatest person. Hitler has been Time Magazine's Person of the Year.
Well,
it's the person that has the most, like noise for the year or whatever. The most, their Q rating's the highest.
Hard to argue.
It sort of is.
I think it's very easy to argue that she just came out like they're more and more now to me just becoming a like just what happened last week, because I think that to say that it's hard to argue that she should be Person of the Year, I mean, I would.
Don
there's
Jr.
a lot of argument.
Don Jr. tweeted out what a marketing gimmick this is.
Yeah,
and if you're,
which is fine.
First off, who's going to a party store or a magazine stand and buying a fucking magazine anyways?
No.
Has Time Magazine as like a hard copy been any less relevant than right now? I mean, dude, you can just, any website, you can just, there it is, Person of the Year. Yeah, great. But they do this every year. They make a big deal out of it, blah, blah, blah. And
so, who would you vote for instead? If it's not,
I have to think about it. Let me give me a little. Let him reel a little bit.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. I'll give you the final four.
Okay.
Oh, all right. I didn't realize there was actually standings.
There's a final four.
Okay.
And I think it becomes pretty obvious when you hear them all, but you guys might totally disagree with that, which is fine. So let's see. Miss Thunberg was up against four finalists, including the anti-government Hong Kong protesters.
Okay.
Nancy Pelosi, U.S. House Speaker. Mm-hmm. The anonymous whistleblower.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Out of those, I would do the Chinese people personally, but
Hong Kong.
yeah, or Hong Kong, whatever.
Yeah, same thing.
That's great. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think it's a great top four even.
And I wouldn't know. That's why I was trying to say, who else would you even say? It's been kind of a weird fucking
I don't know,
year,
but
right?
not her.
You know what?
I don't know who, but not her. I guess Trump. To be honest with you, probably.
You know what? I
over
think
her.
Trump was a finalist. Trump was a finalist too. So you got Greta, Trump, Pelosi, the whistleblower,
Wait,
and the
just
protesters.
Make that up. What, did you miss it the first time it was in there? How'd you just?
The businessman denounced the choices of marketing gimmicks. So this is Don Jr. He wrote, Time leaves out the Hong Kong protesters fighting for their lives and freedoms to push a teen being used as a marketing gimmick. How dare you? Mocking that when she was talking to the world. How dare you to everyone. His father was also a finalist. So it says that right there. I did not make that up.
Fair enough.
His
fair enough.
father was also a finalist.
Even highlighted.
Trump's won that before, right? He's been on
I would think.
Time Magazine's Person of the Year. I think after 2016 election, I believe.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
When he came in making waves that he would have been the Person of the Year.
Times editor-in-chief Edward Felsenthal told the Today Show she became the biggest voice on the biggest issue facing the planet this year, coming from essentially nowhere to lead a worldwide movement to East Point. Coming from nowhere,
Gross.
Seemingly. She's the magazine's youngest ever choice. I got that. Trump can't help it. He's got a tweet out at a 16-year-old girl.
Throw it at her. From the shitter. Here it comes.
Yep, from the shitter. Trump lashed out at her and told her to chill. Greta must work on her anger management issues. Then go to a good old-fashioned movie with a friend. Chill, Greta, chill.
That's pretty good. He said
trolling
chill.
a 16-year-old.
Chill, Greta, chill.
A 70-something-year-old man is trolling a 16-year-old girl who's fighting for fucking, global warming issues.
Right?
The funniest part is, though, she took the bait.
Of course.
Minutes after his tweet, Thunberg changed her Twitter profile to read, a teenager working on her anger management problem, currently chilling and watching a good old-fashioned movie with a friend. She changes her Twitter profile every time he tweets something about her.
Well played, sure.
Yeah, it's not a bad play.
No, that's not a bad move.
Yeah.
Without actually getting, into it. It's a nice move. I can appreciate that.
The reason I hate this so much is, what did they say is wrong with her? She's on the spectrum-y?
Yeah. autism, I thought, or something. I don't remember.
When
Yeah, well, that was why
I
everybody.
shouldn't say it what, but something. She had some.
Something
Was
was
it
going on.
autism
Yeah,
or
everybody was like, "How
Asperger's
dare
or-
you attack her? She's special."
Right.
Yeah,
whatever
and that,
it was.
That's the problem I have.
Yeah.
Whether it's David Hogg,
Whatever. You want to come out and pop off,
Dude.
You're fair game.
you're
Period. End
fair
of story.
fucking game. You just are. If you're a model that wants to wear almost nothing and be on a runway and in magazine covers, sorry,
Yeah.
people are going to comment on what you look like. That's the reality of that job. It is what it is. Greta Thunberg is a 16-year-old girl. You cannot come out and finger point shaming the world, for ruining my life and destroying the world. How dare you? You know what? There's a lot of people that are going to go, yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't want to be told and shamed and finger pointed at by a 16-year-old girl. Good for her. She believes in a cause. She thinks she's right.
Right.
You know?
They generally do.
Yeah.
They generally do.
And if you think about it like that, and you go, remember when you were 16? Remember when you were 16, T? Mm-hmm. E?
Kind of.
Me? Kind of, right?
A little blurry, but
She's,
yeah.
she's probably better than we were at 16.
She's way better than we were. For
But
sure.
we all
I was
had,
killing the environment. Not trying to say that.
at 16 years old, all of us had 16 years worth of knowledge, which is fuck all.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
16-year-olds don't know they're stupid. They don't know what they don't know yet. And it unfortunately takes a long time to get that. And so you're filling this 16-year-old autistic girl's head with all kinds of shit. You're flying her around the world, taking advantage of her, the fact that she's 16 and yelling at people, And I don't know what that does to them. I know what it did to David Hogg and his crew,
It didn't go well.
No. Turn them into assholes that most people don't want to hear from.
I'm kind of rooting for global warming so that there's like a giant wave that comes and knocks her off the
Yeah.
rock there. Taking a picture of one of those
Right?
catastrophic waves. You're like, ah.
Someone set her on a fucking on a coast, and she's stand here with a rock, and when the wave hits and it splashes up on your shoes, we'll get a picture. Make sure you look up at the sky like you're
Right.
pondering
Yeah.
the future of our
Deep
world.
stare.
You know what, Greta? The world's gonna be here long after you die. It just is. It's a violent.
It's not
world.
really the argument, though.
It is.
No, the argument is whether it will sustain human life long after.
Who cares? Who cares about human life? You don't even like humans.
That's not true, by the way. That
is true.
No, it's not. But
Since when? Since you got a girlfriend?
no, you can hate a lot of how people's actions are, but overall, I'm a very pro person.
Do you want to listen to a 16-year-old lecture you on
That's
world,
not-
world environment issues?
I'm
I
just
don't.
making a statement that you said that will be here long after, and I said that's.
I
not
think it
the
will.
argument.
I think it's a violent world historically that we live on. The planet we live on.
Yes, the planet and
Yeah, and you know what? We've had 4, 5 catastrophic people-ending events through time. Maybe this is the next one.
Let's hope.
but
in
that's
2,000 years.
But no one knows when that's going to be, and there's
That's
people.
the fun of it, man. It's like Christmas morning when it happens.
Speaking of catastrophic, hey, insurance, we all need it, and most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who even provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 30 years in the business and offers all types of insurance coverage.
Oh shit! You're gonna do this?
Come on, E.
You son of a bitch! Auto, loan, home.
Wait, loan?
business,
Loan insurance?
Yeah, I need loan
Maybe.
insurance.
Auto, home,
In case I
business.
don't pay it back.
Auto, home, business, personal, other. I don't remember.
All right, we'll go with and health and life and more. We'll give you the more for the other. But
E,
good job.
you-
You did
E,
almost good.
You got to just calm down, stay in the pocket of the moment, go.
slow down.
There's car insurance,
Yeah.
there's home insurance,
What
there's
was the
life insurance.
Driving insurance, right? Was that the one they were
Driving
like?
insurance, yeah.
I mean, it's the same
Brilliant.
thing in reality.
Anyway,
Hung up on
when
it.
you need driving insurance, call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900 and get a free no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900 and ask for Brent Wasick at Wasick Insurance.
Did you guys hear about the girl that was murdered in a New York park the other day?
You're going to have to be more specific. Doesn't that happen all the time?
Yeah, it's happening more, especially on de Blasio's watch. Police are questioning a couple teenage boys. This is just brutal, man. And I saw a picture of her, and I'm like, ugh, can I talk about how cute that girl is? Like, Fuck. 18 years old from a
All right.
small
Well,
town.
all right. Well, at least she's 18.
She,
I was worried about where that was
I
going to go.
thought she was 18 at least. She,
Well, okay.
yeah, no, she's 18.
Jane Doe.
Yeah. Police questioning these teenage boys with their parents present, so it's not like a,
Okay.
Central Park 5
I was going to
thing.
say, was there 5 of them?
Yeah, no. A couple of them. They're looking for a third, though. Their parents were present. It's in connection with the stabbing of this 18-year-old college student who was stabbed on Wednesday night. Name's Tessa Majors, freshman at Barnard College. She was walking down a flight of stairs into Morningside Park, West 116th Street. Now, the higher the numbers go, the fucking nastier it gets.
Really?
So if you're at, like, 5th and Broadway,
You're good to go.
good to go. 116th, from what I understand. Now, I don't know if that's true
going to music festival.
all the way across the grid, but, I remember Patrice O'Neal talking about, man, even my black ass ain't going above 110. Fuck that. And once you get above 120, you're in a different fucking planet.
Forget about
it. The cops won't even go there. So, anyways, she says, she's been in the city since August.
Aw.
Yeah.
She's a victim.
Yeah. She's been in the city since August. Her mommy dropped her off for college. And so police want to talk to a third suspect. There are more pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a music festival fan for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She's there for sure.
I wish I knew what festival that was now. Ridiculous.
You didn't hear that. I didn't say that.
18 is 18.
18 is 18. Look
For
at
sure.
that. Oh, my God. Young. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
know what I mean, T? 18. 18.
Well, that's
Look, she's
listen,
so cute.
I know.
That's
It's
just-
a tragedy. Hey, I have
Keep
kids,
going,
man.
E. There's more
Listen,
pictures.
It's a shame that a young, attractive woman can't fucking walk down a set of stairs in a park without getting fucking killed.
Yeah. It's
Damn it.
absolute.
What is this world coming to?
Yeah.
It's a smart pantsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The attackers allegedly demanded money and then stabbed her
Wow.
multiple times in the stomach, face, neck, and under her arm before running away. She appeared to have put
She's
up a
got-
fight.
Oh, you know what,
Green
dude?
hair. How much money do you think
love
this
it.
fucking chick has? 18-year-old white girl with green hair walking through the park. How much fucking money do you think she has?
She crawls
Going to
back.
school at New York too, by the way. But
She crawls back up the
It's
stairs.
like, who carries cash anymore? Even if you're rich
Yeah.
as fuck, who carries cash?
this
Give me your
guy there is gay.
I'm an old man, dude.
Right?
What do you-
They're gonna start jacking people with like those. What do you call the little swipe
Apple
fucking
Cash.
things? The fucking
Give me your Apple Cash password, motherfucker.
I didn't see.
touch my phone.
Someone gives him cash. He's like, "What the fuck? What? Get this shit out of here. Give me your Apple Cash password." More.
She's got a camera penis.
She does have a camera penis in that
Very
picture.
phallic.
She could rock out a little bit.
She could slap the
Next.
base.
Yep. Oh, there she is.
You don't need to see that.
No, we don't need these tweets and shit.
Okay.
Get out of here. Get out of there.
I don't know. I think
There's
that's
one
probably-
that she's standing by the school, and she's got little.
Wait, these are all her
I thought
tweets?
that was it. That was probably the one I had earlier.
No. There was one I saw that was just like on.
Did you read any of those? Maybe she fucking deserved it.
No,
Read
she
any
didn't
of those
deserve it.
Wow.
No,
You
she's
never-
a
I don't
very
know what she
nice
had to
girl.
say. Maybe. I didn't read any of those tweets. Maybe she was a horrible person.
She was not a horrible person.
Okay.
I read the tweets.
All right.
She's apparently very much loved. She crawls up the steps to a Columbia University security guard booth. And the initial reports were he was there, calls 911. She's rushed to the hospital and later pronounced it. The cops have come out and said, I know that was the initial thing that was said. No. She crawled up the steps, and the security guard was doing rounds, and he wasn't there.
Oh.
And so by the time he got there and called 911, she was unconscious.
She was toast.
And but dude, this is 5:30 in the evening. This isn't 1 in the morning.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, see, oh yeah, she's walking down a dark alley at 2 in the morning. Well, she should be allowed to, but
Well, true. But
doesn't
who's-
help your odds.
Who's walking around at 2 in the morning with a wad of cash?
Yeah.
Your odds are better probably at 5:30. Let's catch the rush hour, the after work crowd.
It's just what kind of human being walks
Animal.
up to a random stranger in a park at 5:30, 18-year-old girl, beaming with life,
Yeah. Animal.
demands money, and then stabs her in the neck, face, under her armpit, and chest and stomach to death. It's monstrous. So they found her, Tessa Majors, uncharged cell phone lying next to her along with a butterfly knife. It is not clear if that was the weapon used or if it belonged to her. Her Nana. God bless her Nana.
It'd be badass if she pulled out like a fucking butterfly knife. Like, fuck you.
Obviously
And
wasn't
came
very
back
good
at
with
it. No, yeah, she was did too much time flipping it around and not enough time stabbing with it.
Her grandma, anytime you throw a nana or a papa on a hot mic,
Never know what you're gonna get.
I guess being from a smaller town, she was too naive to think about walking alone in New York City. She just shouldn't have been there, her Nana said. And I'm like, Nana, it's 5:30.
Sure.
She
You
can't
were
walk
home.
through a park alone in New York City at 5:30? Not getting stabbed to death, and Nana's blaming the victim?
I agree.
Her own Nana's blaming the victim?
right.
She shouldn't have been there. Too naive. Mayor de Blasio, that piece of shit.
Oh, Billy.
He said, the close-knit community at Barnard College is in shock right now. We've lost a young woman full of potential in a senseless act of violence. I want every student and every member of faculty to know your city will be with you in the days ahead.
What does that mean?
Powerful statement.
Oh yeah.
Powerful.
I'm sorry. What? I didn't even catch that. It was so generic.
So generic. And you know what Twitter did?
Killed him. I hope.
They said something like, yeah, we're blaming you for this event, sir.
Yeah.
It's indicative of how the city was reverting to its history of violent crimes because of your rules. And another person says, this one's on you, Mr. Safest Big City. Another said, Mayor, this is the late 70s, 80s type of New York City violent crime. Multiple predators prey on lone victim without fear of being caught. You're going backwards, fast. Another one says, you caused this by letting criminals roam free, rewarding them for committing crimes and not letting the NYPD do its job. Other people begged him to let the police force do their job. And that's fact. People don't like even mentioning New York City's, stop and frisk laws, where it was like, if you, and this was Mayor Giuliani after 9/11, and put in place, you know what? We know where the shit criminal activity is going on, right? And so we're not going to wait for shit. We're going to clean this city up, and turn that into one of the safe. Like, dude, Times Square. You remember walking through Times Square used to be a shithole.
Yeah,
you
I
didn't
guess
walk
from what
through
I hear,
Times Square. You didn't walk through any of those Central Park. 70s and 80s, the crime in New York City
Yeah, it was funny because you're right.
through the roof.
My opinion of New York was still kind of just from what I had heard, and I understand it's getting worse now. But I mean, I've been going now. Like I went with Ty a few years ago, and I've gone several times since. But I'm
you went with
around,
me when you shit on the floor.
But I'm walking around
it.
by myself at 3 a.m. now, and I understand that it's getting worse, and so I haven't had an issue. But the point is, like, my perception of what it was like, oh shit, dude, New York's fucking awesome. What are you talking about, dude? I'm walking around 4 a.m. Fine, nothing going on. Now,
But T and I remember,
that's what I'm saying.
news reports in the late 80s and 90s,
that
like
was crazy shit back then. Yeah, it was.
So if you had if you put the news on and there was something out of New York, I don't care what the story was. It was either graffiti everywhere,
right,
or it was red and blues.
That's all it was.
Behind the right. That's what we.
It's the new
saw.
Chicago. That's what Chicago is now.
Yeah.
Like every fucking story out of Chicago is just murder.
New record this month.
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of what I thought it was going to be like. And again, it sounds like it's unfortunately going
City's
bad.
awesome,
But no, I
man.
fucking love it. But I'm, hopefully this guy, hopefully this doesn't continue to grow and have it go back to that.
De Blasio is hated by most New Yorkers. Hated. When he entered the presidential race and failed to get 1% from anywhere, he finally dropped out. I believe he dropped out a while ago.
I'm sure he must have.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking
think
Bloomberg. Yeah, De Blasio's.
Bloomberg's still around.
'Cause he was New York mayor.
Yes,
Bloomberg,
for a
yeah,
long
yeah,
time.
yeah,
For a long
not
time.
current.
But Giuliani went in and went, I don't give a fuck. You call me a racist all you want. I'm going to make this city safer.
Sure.
And went in, and black and brown people didn't like it. They said, oh, we were targeted. Because it's like, I don't know, if you're roaming through Cabrini Green in Chicago,
Well, here's the funny part.
not a lot of great shit going on.
Stop and
at 2 in the
frisk,
morning.
whatever. I get it. Maybe an inconvenience. But if you got a gun that you're not supposed to have, and you get in trouble for it,
I know.
it's
Isn't that
it's
funny?
the police's fault. It's the policy's fault. Like, no, you shouldn't have been able to check me to find that gun that I wasn't supposed to
know.
fucking have. You know,
Totally.
like, come on.
In those in the defense of the people that live in those areas, okay? I'm not
Great
saying
last episode.
those people, they people, you people. I'm saying
We the people.
for the individuals that live in those areas. Digging my way out of this.
No, I know.
So if they're there and you've got some rogue cops, if you've got some bad apples in the mix that are just fucking with people, you know, it's hard. I get it, man. Jay-Z slung drugs, you know what I mean, in whatever city he was in, Queens somewhere in something park. The fuck is
Carter.
what the hell is Jay-Z's famous? Like they're on the map. Marcy Project or whatever.
Yeah.
That dude is a smart guy that's made right and done well for his community, but fucking slang coke and crack to get any chance to get out of there.
Yeah.
And as soon as he could, he did. And so if you've got people just run up going, I know this is a shitty area, and beating the shit out of people and finding guns on them or planning, whatever, and they're going, you know, you go south of fucking 100th Street, and you don't do that to white people. You don't walk up to white people and just, hey, what are you doing? Slam against a wall and fucking frisk them. Because they know they don't usually have a gun on them. An unregistered one at that.
Right.
But, you know,
Racist.
can't argue with the results. I got to be honest with you. You
Right.
can't argue with the results,
No.
you know? What do you do? What do you do?
It's tough, man.
And New Yorkers don't like it. And when you have an entire police department, New York City, the most powerful, strongest, largest police department, best police department on planet Earth, turning their backs on you at a fucking speech,
Yeah.
that should tell you something. That speaks volumes. Anyway, I know
Hey.
I'm probably giving right-wing talking points, but fuck.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Hey, did
I
you-
like that girl. I wanted to see her more. She's so cute.
She was cute. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
I hate to see that.
Yeah.
Hey, does your money work as hard as you do?
No.
You'll spend upwards of 45 years working to support your lifestyle, provide for your family, and set aside money for retirement. Do you know if you will be able to retire on your terms? How could you? If you don't have a plan, let Mark Leibovitz, Merck if you know him, at LPL Financial help make sure your money is working as hard as you are. Call Merck today at 248-626-2000.
Securities and Advisory Services
Yeah,
offered
big
through
boy.
LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
You did great.
Thank you.
T and I were driving the other day. We actually went by Merck's old house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Well, I did.
Over by Drake and whatever.
Huh.
It was like, remember Merck used to live over here growing up in that
Funny.
fucking rich ass house.
Son of a bitch. The mean streets of Farmington Hills.
Merck, remember? Well, you wouldn't because you weren't on the soccer team. You were on the football team. But when we would go to like soccer tournaments for the weekend, you know those things where it's like, where all the players are staying in a cabin or whatever. And
Yeah.
Derek would snore all fucking night and keep everyone awake. He's like me now. But Merck's parents would follow behind. You had to have like parents there or whatever. And, chaperones. And they'd all go and they'd sleep in some shitty fucking tent or a cot at whatever. Not Merck's parents. They would just get off the exit and pop into a Holiday Inn, and stay at some 5-star whatever.
Right. See you guys in the morning. We'll
We'll
be there.
here to chaperone, but the fuck, we're not living in a fucking cabin for the weekend.
We'll see you at 7:30 with bagels and lox.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, we got Ron Bennington coming up shortly here.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Couple more things before we get to him. And I think you guys are going to like Ron.
Absolutely.
Should the Boston Marathon bombers' trial have taken place in Boston as the city was still reeling from the trauma of the 2013 attack?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why the fuck wouldn't it?
Well, if it's too sensitive and you get jurors that
Go fuck
can't
yourself.
be...
Then don't blow fucking people up in the marathon.
There you go.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
What are you gonna say that you can't get a fair trial because you killed people at the fucking
Nowhere you
marathon?
would get a fair trial
All
in
right,
reality.
fuck you. They're nowhere in this country. It doesn't matter where it is.
The whole country knew
Right.
that and was
Like
watching
you
that.
go to New York and they're like, yeah, fuck Boston. Yeah, you're not guilty. Yeah.
Fucking Yankees. Fucking Yankees. Fucking Brett Boone.
No, I'm tired of that shit, man.
That's the crux of this argument that's going on. It's before the argument started today before the first U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Boston.
There's only one on trial because didn't he run over the other one?
He did. He squashed his head like a grape. His own brother.
Good.
He was shot a bunch of times by the police first, so he was wounded and bleeding out, and then his brother ran over his head.
Sure.
With a car, which was great. It's awesome. Lawyers for Zokhar
Still too
Sardoff
good.
are seeking to have their client's death sentence overturned, arguing he was subjected to fundamentally unfair proceeding They have long argued it was impossible to find a fair and impartial jury in Boston, just 2 years removed from the April 15, 2013 attack, which killed 3, injured more than 260. The lawyers wrote, Sarnov admitted heinous crimes, but even so, perhaps especially so, the trial demanded scrupulous adherence to the requirements of the Constitution and federal law. Again and again, this trial fell short. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
No, could not
Aren't
fucking.
they just getting paid?
And-
I mean,
and-
they got it. They're right. He's probably got some people that are paying to do this, so they're lawyers and they got to say something, right? I would imagine.
Well, their argument is there were 2 jurors in like specifically that were on that jury that said, no, I didn't really hear about the case yet, you know, and then they found that they tweeted or Facebooked.
We're full of shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything. Fuck that guy.
So one of them, a juror, published 24 Twitter posts in the aftermath of the bombings, including retweeting after his arrest. Congrats to all the law enforcement pros who worked so hard and went through hell to bring in that piece of garbage. A little biased. But again,
You're supposed to have
He admitted to it.
jury of your peers, right? Which you would think is normal, regular folk. If somehow there's somebody in this country that didn't know about the fucking bombing, the marathon bombing,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't want those people judging.
Yeah.
You are some kind of weird son of a bitch
Unfortunately,
that you don't know about that.
I think you'd have to go to the Ukraine to find a jury of his peers.
Yeah, that's
you
what
know
I'm
what I
saying.
mean. Like,
Well, it's just saying it doesn't matter where in this
yes,
country.
he's from Ukraine or Russia, somewhere like that. And then another juror posted on Facebook, yeah, I'm in the jury process. I'm in the jury pool process. And all of his friends encouraged him to play the part in order to get on the jury and make sure Sarnov was convicted.
Pretend, yes.
His lawyers raised them those comments as reasons to disqualify the 2 jurors, and the judge was like, yeah, fuck you, and let it proceed.
Yeah, good.
So prosecutors portrayed Sarnov as an equal partner with his brother Tamerlan, and so heartless he placed a bomb behind children, including the 8-year-old he killed,
Yeah.
Martin Richard. Then they killed the cop, Sean Collier, right, 27-year-old, sitting in his car. They're on the run, being hunted. They find him, jump him, you know, in his car and whatever. Kill
Hiding in a
him.
boat. Is that right? Do I remember that detail correctly?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, for sure. I'll never
Yeah.
forget the picture of him
Yeah.
outside the boat with blood on him, hands up, and you can see the fucking red dots from the long guns that were.
I'm
scoped
all
on him.
for, like fair, trials and all that, but when you deserve it, fuck you. This,
He admitted to it.
yeah, right? Like, I don't know what do you think? You're not going to die? You're not going to.
This is the thing, though.
And would you rather do life in prison?
I know.
Or like
Yeah,
die? Like,
totally.
I mean, if I was going to get life in
Die.
prison, like, just kill me right now. Like, don't make me go to death row. Don't make me wait 10 years. I don't want to fucking do all that stupid
Yeah.
shit. Like, just put a bullet in my head. Fuck off. I don't want to.
And here's the thing, too. He's not in prison. He's in a supermax correctional facility, which means he spends 23 hours of 24 a day isolated.
Yeah.
No human contact. It's almost an inhumane punishment. Like, it's torture.
I'd rather have him in like general population. Let him beat the fuck out of this guy
They
on the
probably
reg.
wouldn't. It's almost worse. He'll go insane. If you're away from human contact 23 hours of every fucking day, it's not the way we're wired. It doesn't work. And so there are people fighting like this is
You
a
do it.
cruel. I know I do it, but I seek that and I look forward to that. I by myself. I don't talk to nobody. Cool. But their arguments are that this is a cruel and unusual punishment. We as a country don't do cruel and unusual punishment. It's like, well, you let people butt fuck other people against their will. I'd say that's cruel and unusual punishment, but whatever. To each their own. But I'm with you, dude. I'd rather be killed than do 23 hours in a supermax.
At the same time, that's too good for him. Somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like just a quick painless death. Nah. No thanks.
This seems obvious to us. Like, yeah, fuck you, dude. No. What I remember is him in that picture outside the boat.
Yeah.
Him on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine looking like Bob Dylan. Looked like a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
People were furious about that. And I remember him when they first put him in his prison, like the holding cell, and he just kept standing up to the camera, going, fuck you, and flipping the camera off right to it. He was laughing at America. Fuck you, America. It's like,
Yeah,
you know
he was
what?
doing that when he set the bomb off at the fucking marathon.
Yeah.
It amazes me that people
Behind
like
a
that
child.
ever make it to trial. Whether it be in the process of getting arrested, boy, he was resisting. I think I saw a gun. Shot him 18 times in the fucking face. Whatever.
Yeah.
Or even just between here and there. Whatever.
Yeah.
It just amazes me that those guys even get a day in court.
I know.
When it's that cut and dry. You know, sometimes it's wrong. I'm not saying that everybody should just be fucking shot on sight, but when it's absolute and
when the whole country was on, dude, they had blocks of neighborhoods on lockdown.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that guy in his backyard who had his boat in his backyard, cover on it, and was like, what's going on in my boat? Why is that ladder there? What's that red stain on the side of it? And it was like, thank God he called and they showed
caught
up.
it. Fuck yeah.
They showed up ready to go, man. And that dude was in there. He'd written something on the side of that boat too. Do you remember that detail?
Not really.
He
No.
wrote something in there like "fuck you," blah blah blah. Like
Awesome.
Never ever. I've never heard of any aspect of remorse or anything. Like
Nothing.
this is what he wanted to do. And this is what he did. He's a monster. And I love the way they say this. Joe Carr's older brother Tamerlan died before he could be caught. Yeah, when his brother ran his fucking head over with a car.
Squish it like a grape.
Yeah. So and this is why this is going to be interesting, though. Because there's precedent for a case like this. And Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bombing,
Yeah.
who talk about a successful. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
gonna,
that was well done. Yeah, that was really well
mean-
done. And that really started this whole. I mean, can you
was
think of
well
anything?
done.
Well, it was. I mean, I'm not saying I approve, but it was well executed.
I mean, do you remember that he sheared the face?
Yeah,
of a fucking
took a whole fucking
building.
building. Yeah,
like top to bottom.
I mean, I'm not saying I support it, but if you're going to do it, and do it right.
properly planned. You would say.
Yes, but he started it. He was out in front of the curve, man. You weren't looking for that shit. Now
Yeah.
you're looking for those. Hey, why is that stolen U-Haul parked in front of the building?
He had a
You know?
U-Haul filled with fertilizer
Yeah.
and whatever
Nobody
else.
thought anything like, oh, somebody must be moving.
would've been
Okay,
too young.
nobody thought
Yeah,
anything
I
of
mean, I
it.
kind of remember it, but not much. I mean,
Remember the interview we did with the person that was in Jonestown,
Yeah.
Jim Jones,
Yeah.
who drink the Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
right? You've heard the term drink the
Jonestown
Kool-Aid.
Massacre.
Jonestown Massacre, where he wanted to have his own world, where he was in charge. Of course, he could fuck any 12-year-old he wanted.
Sure.
And he was just a monster. And who did we interview? We interviewed someone that was there that ended up getting out alive. But all those kids, hearing the audio of him, Timothy McVeigh was fascinated by that whole Jonestown thing. And that's what sparked him to get so angry that the Jonestown thing, and then who was the cult leader that ended up lighting Waco?
In Waco.
Waco.
What the
David something.
Vesh.
Koresh.
Koresh.
David Koresh.
Yes.
And all those people in that cult environment that he was living in, and they torched it.
Yep.
Killed all these kids, families, burned to death, and they blamed the U.S. government. The feds were there for 13 days or something, and then finally went, fuck this, and lit that shit up. And that thing went up in flames.
Yeah, right. Hey, let's
Timothy
smoke them out.
McVeigh-
Oh, shit, they're not coming out.
Right.
Backfire.
Timothy McVeigh was watching that shit and was furious, thought like, it was the U.S. government to not leave these people alone, blah, blah, blah. And so those two events, Tim McVeigh and David Koresh, led him to go and do the Oakland, wait, I got that right?
No, yeah,
Shit.
no, you mean
Jones-
you're saying that
Jones
Jonestown,
and
sorry.
and
I was like, wait, I already said
Koresh.
McVeigh. I got to rephrase that. Yeah, Jonestown and David Koresh led Tim McVeigh to blow up Oak, and he did a stunning job. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've seen the photos, the entire face of that fucking federal building is sheared
blew
off.
that shit out.
I believe a nursery was in there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why this is interesting, because
He got it
he got it moved.
moved.
Yes. The case was so the Joe Carr case is arguably the most high-profile death penalty case in the country since Tim McVeigh, who was convicted and executed for the '95 Oklahoma City bombing. Some of his lawyers tried in vain for months to get the trial moved, arguing the Boston jury pool was tainted because of the number of locals with connections to the race, drawing parallels to the McVeigh case, which was moved to Denver for similar reasons.
Was there a different outcome?
No, they killed the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Okay, great. Perfect. Then that's all that matters. Let's
There-
just waste more fucking money, go somewhere else and do
Sure.
it, because it doesn't matter where you go. And there is not one jury anywhere in this world that wouldn't fucking string him up by his balls.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Boston. I don't care if he goes to Miami. I don't care if he goes to fucking Dubuque, Iowa.
I know. It's the lawyers are going to do everything they can.
Of course,
The
that's
one
their
brother,
job. The longer it goes, the more they get paid.
Yeah. The one brother got his head run over and squashed like a grape by the younger brother. But they're going, oh, yeah, sort of was a victim too. You know, I mean, he was just following his older brother.
Surprised the family's not suing.
Right. I think they might have tried to sue at one point.
That's insanity.
Anyway, you got one more to read there,
I
too?
do. Before we get to your boy, hey, Hamlin Pubs is inviting you to their 6 Metro Detroit locations. Come enjoy Hamlin Pubs' great food, drinks, and atmosphere. Whether you're watching the game with your buddies or out for a meal with the family, it's always a great time at their Rochester, Clarkston, Chesterfield, and 2 Shelby Township locations. And, God, Jay rates like a dick.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Oh, and their new one in Richmond. I think that's what it says.
Yeah.
We'll just strip to that. They got one in Richmond, too. Go to Hamlin Pubs. Great sponsor. Have a drink. Tell them I said hi.
I was going to wrap it up and just go right to the Ron Bennington call. But I'm going to do one more small story. So you guys get a little extra show today.
Bonus.
I wanted your guys' opinion on this. 29-year-old woman in California. She's a psychic. And the police are hot after they want to arrest her. She's a fugitive now. They're trying to find her. She duped clients out of $100,000. So what she would do is she was like, hey, come over to the house, give me your cash, and I'm going to bless it. And then you come back in a few days, and I will have doubled the money for you, and you'll get doubled your money back. They were like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. She's gonna bless it and then double it. And then all these people came back a few days later, like they were asked to do. Come back and get double their money. Who wouldn't want to take that deal?
Yeah. It's a bargain.
It's an empty apartment.
No way.
Swear to God.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something tragic must have happened.
Yeah. I mean, there's clearly a misunderstanding here.
Sure.
She said, because it's clear, I'm a psychic. Come over here. Give me your cash. I'm going to bless it. Mm-hmm. And then in a few days you come back and I'll give you double your money back.
I don't know where your question on where this is going to go, where you're asking us, but if you're asking me, like, dude, if you're dumb enough to do this, then you know what?
Don't you kind of feel like, I feel like, you know what? I'm not interested in arresting the woman that said, bring me your money here, I'll double it.
She just kind of like threw this out there.
I mean.
And how do you catch a psychic? Isn't she going to know you're coming?
That's a great point.
How are you ever going to catch her?
Well, if you do know anything about this 1-800-AA-CRIME, okay. Not AA Ron, but AA Crime.
Is she
Call
black?
them. Is she what?
Is she black?
No.
Oh.
Perlita Efancio Balas. I think she's a Mexican.
Why is it AA?
I don't know.
Those African American.
Anyone with info is asked to contact 1-800-AA-CRIME or 916-443-HELP.
Okay.
But yeah, it's crazy. Clients who handed over the money said she asked them to return to her home days later to get double return on their investment, but when she did, the alleged psychic was gone.
I just don't
Which is weird. I'm more worried about the psychic. Did something happen to her?
Yeah.
Does she need help?
Maybe she got mugged. Maybe she got rolled for all that cash.
She got rolled. He's been rolled numerous times. He knows it can happen.
Yeah.
The victim said her residence was vacated and she and their money had disappeared.
Maybe
And
she's being held against her will, and people are they're giving her money and making her double it every couple of days.
It's like a lotto.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hit a jackpot that just continues to win,
Yeah.
I'd kidnap that fucking lotto guy too.
Sure. But yeah, good luck catching her because she knows you're coming.
Can you imagine rolling up into an apartment? You have cash on you, and I wish it said how they found her. Like, was it on, Craigslist isn't, I guess Craigslist is still around, but.
The psychic, you mean?
Yeah,
like,
how do they find her?
It sounds like these people were going to her for a while and she gained their trust.
Doing like tarot,
but still.
tarot readings and shit like that.
Tarot readings?
First,
like tarot.
First time,
whatever.
First time you do that, how are you going in like all in? Are you gonna like throw her 20 and be like, all right, give me 40 in a couple of days, and we'll come back around. We'll see where we're at.
It's an interesting question because I was like, how does someone that fucking dumb get access to $100,000?
You're gonna double it here. Here's my whole
Oh shit! I could get
$870.
Wait, I come back on Thursday and you're gonna give me $200,000? Okay, there you go. It sounds like there were multiple people, but even if there was 4 people,
doesn't matter.
How does that asshole have $25,000 to then double with the psychic?
There's no mention of the quantity of money, the amounts.
Well, they said at least $100,000 she
Total?
took, but I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
that she duped them of.
Wow.
So I don't know if that
real
was
money.
10 people giving $10,000.
I wish I would know how many times they'd gone to her. I guess because like man, they must have felt like she was good. Like her readings must like did they? You know what I mean? Because if it
yeah.
I believe in psychics. at all?
Fuck no.
Come on, Ian.
Hell
What about
no.
you? You look like you might.
I don't. Yes and no.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely. I went to
but
one.
Psychics are different than. I mean, it depends. Like, see, the problem is when people say you don't believe in psychics. It depends on if you're just going to do this movie version of someone looking at a ball and saying you what's going to happen to you. I'm talking.
No. I went to one that was in a theater.
No. That's different than what I'm saying.
And we had a medium on stage. There's a medium on stage, and I went there against my will, kicking and screaming, but like, this will be comical, and I want you to know, sweetheart, this is going to be bullshit. I'm telling you right now, this is bullshit preying on the tragedies that everyone in this audience has had and is now seeking help from. You know, I'm feeling an M in the. Is there an M?
See that?
And it's like my mom was Mary. Yes. Well, just tell me it's Mary. If you're talking to her, ask her what her fucking name is. Don't give me the don't waterboard me
The old bait
to
and
get
switch,
it.
right.
And when I went there, what I saw, because I wasn't the one dealing with anything, I was just there, right? Someone bought my ticket for me because I refused, and I went there. I sat in the audience and I watched the entire event from a perspective of someone not needing to hear from my dead mother, father, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and watched and went, this is comically bad.
Yeah, but
this
you're
is taking advantage of these people. That's all it is.
But you're using that thing and that's because that's what I said. Are you talking about a psychic looking to a ball? And that's the same thing. You're literally talking about a con person.
Well,
no. Wait a minute.
right,
Wait a
that's
minute.
true. That's true.
I believe there is a big difference in someone doing tarot readings,
Right.
and that really have a knowledge of what these things are. I'm not saying how much I believe in them, but what you're describing is not what I'm thinking. I think that there is a chance.
They're all full of shit.
Well, I believe that there is a chance that people can
Maybe.
reach out to
Some
level
have
of
some
power.
connection.
And
I
if
If that's
actually
the
believe
case,
that, too.
if that's
The
the
problem is
case,
that
give me $100 grand. I'll pray on it and give you $200 grand.
That's
on
not how it
Friday.
works, though.
But that's not how it works. Exactly. They're just like just because there are some. The problem with psychics, mediums, things like that is that, and why they get such a bad rap, because there may actually be some legitimate ones out there.
Nope.
The problem is there's so
you
many
don't know
fucking
that.
scams. Well, you don't really
No,
know.
Mike doesn't know that
Well,
when
but
he
there's
says that.
so
Yeah,
many
I do,
scams.
though.
There's so many people that take
Yeah.
advantage of it, that do it, that it just gives it a bad name across the board. And
Yeah.
it's go fuck yourself to everybody. But the reality is that psychics, mediums,
Horoscopes.
whatever. There may be something to it. I don't truly believe, because
I'll play you a
weirdo, but
I'll play you a show that I watched on this, and there's a guy. He's not a comedian, but he's on stage, and he
he debunks all that shit. It's fucking
what?
that he debunks.
I
all
saw that,
stuff.
but that doesn't to me.
Oh my god, dude, that
No.
was fucking hilarious. Penn and Teller. Penn has had a standing offer, and I think Houdini, who before he died had a standing offer, $1 million for proof that you could fucking, and nobody fucking took $1 million. Nobody got it. And Penn, I think Penn Jillette has had an offer standing too. If you can in any way prove anything that you have psychic or medium powers, $1 million, and nobody's fucking taking that. Why wouldn't you? If you actually did, why would you go? All right, smartass, I'll take your $1 million, because they don't. And when I watched it in person, it was a fucking obvious
Well, again,
scam.
I don't believe that what you saw was what I would consider.
Well, I saw a touring medium that was packing the fucking
Yeah,
house.
but that's a moneymaker. That
that's
guy's
a
like
show.
It's a chick.
Right, that's a
first
show.
off. I mean,
It's
I
like
don't
the mentalists and that shit. You know what I mean? We watch on America's Got Talent, stuff like that. That's like a new wave of that. They call them mentalists, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just fucking magic. It's just
Yeah.
bullshit. But that doesn't mean that there's no validity at all to any of it.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's manipulated.
I don't know, man.
We should probably get to Ron.
Yeah, it's true. We're going way late.
I
Ron Bennington. Yeah, well, you want to hit it? We'll call him. Like I said, I talked to him yesterday, and he was great. So hope you guys enjoy it. Ron Bennington, the great Ron Bennington.
I watched it for a little while.
Hi, this is Ron Bennington's producer.
Hey, Mr. Bennington's producer. How are you?
Hi, good. So I'm going to put you on hold, and then they'll pick you up on the other side, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Hold on.
Thanks, man.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's up? This is Ron Bennington.
Ron Bennington, how are you, my friend? This is Mike, and Eric's here as well.
Oh, good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. That voice, man. I've listened to you for so many years. It's a pleasure to have you on, and I'm really excited about this comedy tour, Creeps with Kids, that's coming to town. It's going to be at the Emerald Theater Saturday, January 18th in Mount Clemens, featuring the one, the only Ron Bennington, and of course Robert Kelly, Rich Voss, Jim Florentine, and tickets $30 that they start at, man. And you can get tickets at creepswithkidstour.com. That's KREEPS, or theemeraldtheater.com for tickets as well. And why so cheap, Ron? The tickets.
Well, first of all, it's the worst name in history.
Yeah.
For a tour. Am I right about that? I mean, in 2019, you're going to call a tour Creeps with Kids?
Yeah.
And
well,
the thing is, it never even occurred to Robert Kelly.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, what a great name.
Is that why you
It's
guys
like
spelled
the
it?
Jeffrey Epstein tour of 2019. It's so stupid.
Did you guys spell it KREEPS so that people didn't have to search Creeps with Kids?
Yes, because that could take you to a website that is, well, it's frightening. I'm not going to lie to you about it.
Yeah. What is he thinking? What is Bob? He's not thinking.
He's actually thinking about children. If anything at all, he's thinking to himself, Epstein was on to something. This is not a bad thing to happen.
Well, he was a billionaire.
Oh, I thought you meant Kelly.
Oh, no,
you know,
right.
the weird thing about Jeffrey Epstein, I don't even think I've ever even told this on my show. I was invited to a party at his house one night.
No.
And it was just comics to meet Woody Allen.
Get out of here. Is that a true story?
And, yeah, it's a true story. The person who invited me was a comedian, a West Coast comic. And he's like, I got this buddy. He's really great. If you want to meet Woody Allen, we're all going to go there. We're going to have dinner. And I'm like, well, unlike you, I read the newspaper, and I know. This is like 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
had read before about, what he had done and that he had been busted. I'm like, I'm not going.
Wow.
And another kind of well-known comic filled my seat. They all went. They had pictures taken together. There was 5 guys and Woody, and I just always wait every day for this picture to come out.
Yeah,
I'm always
right.
a little disappointed.
Oh my God! And of course you're not going to tell me who the comic is. I wouldn't expect
No, I
you to.
can't because you know every one of the 5. There weren't
Really?
any children there. There wasn't anything more than the desire to hang out with Woody Allen.
Oh hell yeah!
You know?
I don't even know if people could fault you though. Although he was a convicted pedophile 5 years ago, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And
There's
his
really
house.
Yeah, there's no way around that.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah, and he had nothing but money and a private plane, all that kind of stuff, and he did try to put his fingers in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
And he kind of seduced a lot of people himself, scientists and stuff like that. I mean,
Sure.
he's just whacked out. I mean, to me, the thing is where did the money go? Where was all this cash being moved around from? That's kind of the interesting part.
Where did it come from too? They've never
Right.
really said what the hell he does or did.
Right, and he was a school teacher at one time. So he's a school teacher at a private school, and then he becomes this genius at
Finance
of what?
guy. Yeah, financial guy. Yeah, it's never
Every
made.
financial person. Look, we should just up against the wall all those people and start over. No matter who wins the next election, Trump, Bernie, doesn't
Yeah.
matter who. We should shoot all the finance guys.
Yeah, I'm for that. Just take Wall Street and just wipe it right off the map.
Thank you. There's no one worse than those Wall Street guys. I see them in restaurants here, and I hate them all. You know what I mean?
Last time I was in New York, I was doing Kumia's show with Landau, and I went to a bar restaurant, there in Midtown Manhattan, and I just remember walking in the bathroom stall, and you could tell it was like the last train out of the city, and just Coke straws all over the fucking floor from the finance guys.
They're the reason why Coke is so expensive. Coke used to be cheap until they found out about it.
Yeah.
They ruin everything. Apartments, cocaine. How do you think Landau likes being here in New York?
Oh, I think he loves it.
Yeah.
He's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great guy, and it seems like he's got Anthony on the right kind of track again, because Anthony is very, very funny.
Oh, my God. Dude, some of the shows that, when you would fill in, and some of those shows you and Ant did are just incredible. So funny, so fast. I mean, I was terrified to go in studio with Anthony the first time because he's so fast.
He's really fast, but he's actually not the kind of person who looks to, get over with some. Like, I'm doing this tour and with a guy, Rich Voss,
Yeah.
who will look for a reason to put someone else down to make himself feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God forbid somebody should be in a wheelchair or have cancer, because then he suddenly feels so strong about himself.
Yeah.
You know?
It's strange that a
And,
guy with a lisp as bad as Rich Voss has, that he would be slinging shit at everyone else. But
I
he's
think
good at
that's
it.
the thing. I think that he knows that he's the weakest of all. I just saw him in the hall here. He's going to do Norton show, and he's like,
Okay.
I'm doing a whole clean thing, and then there's no racial stuff next year, because people figured out that he's a racist.
Sure. Oh, he's going to do corporate gigs now?
Yeah, that's what I think he's heading towards. The interesting thing, he and Kelly are ready to kill himself all the time.
Yeah.
But here's Jim Norton, Jim Florentine, the metal guy, is the easiest person to get along with.
Yeah, he's awesome. Bobby Kelly, too. I don't know how you ever get a word in edgewise with that crew, though.
Why would I attempt?
Yeah.
Just move away from him. I go down the hall as far as I can go.
Yeah.
I'll go sit and look out the window, like somebody. I mean, it's a nightmare to be with them. They're all so needy.
Yeah.
And if they didn't have this, it's hilarious on stage, but off stage, you're just like, please take it down to 3.
I just picture the days of Patrice O'Neill and Robert Kelly and Jim Norton sitting in a bar. It's like, I don't know. You'd never talk.
Well, that's, when people talk about the Comedy Cellar and the table and how vicious and all that was all Patrice.
Yeah.
The second he died, people started acting normal again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they used to just rush in there going, I'm going to battle Patrice.
Yeah. I've heard really, really good comics talk about, like, walking in the door and just, like, oh, fuck, there he is. Yeah. I miss that guy so much. I think he was what was the last special? Elephant
Elephant in the Room.
Elephant in the Room is so good, and I thought this guy's next special is going to speak for a generation.
Yeah.
I
think they would have, I honestly think they would have torn him down. You know what I mean? He'd be somewhere in between Louis C.K. and Harvey Weinstein right now. They would have got to him. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Like, it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing ever happened to him was dying. You know what I mean? Before it was all exposed.
Well, who would think the best thing to happen is a stroke for someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he goes down as a legend. He doesn't have to have that, what's coming tomorrow day. So, how are the shows going, by the way, Ron?
Oh, been unbelievable. They literally, this tour has been so funny. And, my whole reason for doing it is fun to begin with. Like, when you were asking about prices, I don't care. I just want to go out and play these theaters. We're playing, when we get out there. This is a great theater. It's going to be a wonderful experience. And the crowds have been great. Chicago was insane. Pittsburgh was insane. Boston. It's really so much fun. There's zero pressure. And I hope you guys come out.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah, good.
No doubt about it. And I think the concept's really cool because every one of you guys is known. I don't want to say like, oh yeah, dirty or whatever. But you guys are some vicious guys at times. The stuff you've talked about on the air and on stage. But you're all parents. You all have kids, and it's like telling parenting stories. But it's not all about parenting in the set. Right.
The whole point is, can you been this guy? Can you been like an edgy party guy? And then become a dad one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, the whole idea of maturity is when you finally get old enough, you're like, oh, my dad was just a guy. He's not a god.
Yeah.
He's not, a horrible demon. He's just a dude who attempted to raise you and feed you.
That was a tough day. That was like when I found out Santa Claus was fake. Like that. It was like, fuck, my dad's not Superman. He's just a fucking dude.
Yeah.
He's just a dude. And that's I didn't like that day. I'll be honest with you.
But if you couldn't go through life and not realize that, I feel worse for the people who are 30 and they're still talking about Santa Claus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I hear somebody going, my dad was one of the, I go, well, so you never fucking grow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel that way when I see the Trump kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't admit that their dad is Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're used to it. They've been explaining that shit to people for their entire lives, trying to explain
Yeah.
their dad away.
But that keeps you from living in reality. Why can't they just say, my dad's kind of a fucking weird dick, but he made a lot of money doing it, you know?
Yeah.
So why don't you just ride it out with us?
Yeah, that does seem like they're just going to defend to the end is what they're trying to do. But I agree, it'd be much more relatable if they went, yeah, we know our dad's a fucking weirdo and kind of a dick.
Yeah.
You know-
Isn't your dad, you could say that, like, hey, isn't your dad kind of racist? You know?
Yeah, I would say that. Be like, yeah, my dad was kind of a dick when I was growing up. He was, he didn't really want kids, and he could be an asshole at times. I don't have a problem saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of learned racism from our dads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the first person I ever said, hey, guys, remember, you got to hold the neighborhood. I'm like, what? Hold it? How?
Yeah.
How?
You can't let it go.
Mike, if I even told you the way that I learned eeny, meeny, miny, mo,
Oh,
you know what I'm
dude.
saying? Like, at the end of the day, these things happened.
What was that
And I'm
called?
sure he was raised by even a worse racist.
Oh, of course. What was that called when a bunch of guys jumped on a pile?
Dogpiling.
Yeah,
You're going the other way, the old school way, yeah.
The old school way. We all grew up
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo is, yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's
Now,
funny.
by the way, the truth is, when I grew up, that's the way I felt too. Like, if one of my friends was in a fight, I just fucking jumped into the fight.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know. Years later, I was working in a carnival in Nova Scotia, and there was some guy looking for one of the guys from our crew. And I go, "Don't worry, there's fucking 11 of us. We're gonna destroy this dude." And all the Canadian kids were going, "What do you mean? It's got to be a fair fight." And I go, "What do you mean when you say fair fight?"
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that term meant. And then I'm sitting there trying to defend this at 17. I'm going, you think an army goes, oh, they only have 70 guys in their platoon, so we'll just send 70, and
No.
the rest of us will watch from a mountain, see how they make out?
You overwhelm them.
Yes.
That's the
You know
job.
what pile them?
Yeah. Exactly.
A pile we can't even talk about anymore.
Yeah, you can't even reference anymore. How about the days of knocking on someone's door and running away?
Oh, yeah.
You
You
know?
had the blank knock.
Yeah.
And again, we didn't invent this.
No.
I heard this in my neighborhood. You heard it in yours. We lived 1,000 miles apart, and yet these were the terms people use.
Ron, I heard that stuff when I was 5. I didn't even
Right,
I
me
didn't even
too.
know what racism was.
I had just made sure that I didn't lip the cigar. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Also, I had heard so much kind of anti-Jewish stuff a decade or more before I even met a Jewish person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what was your problem with Jews?
I
Back
asked
here,
that same
you know?
question.
We don't
is
know
the,
any.
No, what's the problem with them? They seem like
Yeah.
decent people.
Everybody's just people. You
Yeah.
know? But I'm sure that a lot of black kids grew up rightfully hearing stuff about us, too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I bet they said, let's go white knocking tonight, you know?
Yeah, you think so? Honky knocking
I
or
hope
something?
so.
Cracker knocking? Yeah, I doubt it. They just.
I know this. I've never been called a peckerwood, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cheap suit? You ever been called a cheap suit? Cracker?
No, I like that, though.
Yeah, cheap suit. I always like that one too.
We don't overly put money into our clothes. They're right about that.
Yeah, it's a fair statement.
Yeah.
I can't. I look at your schedule and everything you do, Ron, and I don't know where you get the energy or the time. I mean, from club promoting, owning and stand-up comedy, and all the radio shows you've had, and the shows you have now. I mean, I want to get into some of that stuff. What's it like to host a Sirius XM show with your daughter Gail?
It's really the funnest thing, It's a weird thing because I was trying to figure out what's the next thing to do when Fez did retire, and I did not want to do something that was just going to be like a reflection of the other show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's always the hardest thing to do in radio is not how to come, do the same show that you've done before.
Yeah.
And I came up with that because really Gail has been around this business her whole life.
Sure.
Fez was as much a relative to her as I was. I mean, that's how much he was in her life.
Yeah.
So we thought, what if we tried it? Quite frankly, I didn't know how people would feel about it, and that was part of the other kind of rush. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine, though, there's got to be times when it's like you're about to tell a story. It's like, oh, God, I can't say that in front of my daughter.
Nope.
I mean, No?
I just fucking say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's why it's. I mean, I've told that story while she's listening. You know what I mean? I've told that story. You know, yes, the drugs. We did a lot of drugs.
Are there?
You know,
were there some though that were harder than others? Where you're like, oh shit, she's sitting right there. You know, or
I don't think so. I think she should feel as bad as everybody else who has to hear my stories.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And she's got to be used to it. She's grown up with it her whole life, so I guess that
right.
makes sense.
And I tried to, you know, tell my kids even when they were little, I'm like, you know, hey, you got the addiction gene. You know what I mean? Like I didn't invent it in our family.
Yep.
And it's a really good feeling to, you know, get drunk and do drugs. But eventually, you could end up this way. Now, not everybody does. I really am amazed by people who can drink and do drugs without it becoming a problem. I wish I was one of them.
Those moderation assholes.
Yeah, they are the worst, right?
Yeah, because I see them and I'm like, dude, you're drinking every night like me, but you just shut it down after a couple. Like, how do you do that?
How do you do it?
It doesn't
make sense. Do you ever
sense.
do this at a dinner where you just, like, say to a woman, finish your wine?
Yeah.
Just finish it. You're driving me nuts right now.
I mean, I could be 3 bottles deep by then, and it's like, really, you're on your first glass.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I know it's frustrating, and part of it is just jealousy because I guess I wish I had that kind of control. I don't.
I would so much more like to spend my time with drug addicts and alcoholics than I would a so-called normal person.
Absolutely. All the best stories start the same way. You know, and
all the best stories.
Yeah, and everyone I know that I really like hanging out with, they've all got horrible stories about drugs or drinking, which is, you know, fit in with those people.
Because you're not going to do something crazy unless you're in that state.
Of course,
you know?
Of course. But we still get to work. We still make it to work. I mean, there's got to be something said for that, you know. One of the shows you host also, that, by the way, is that still Sirius XM Channel 103 for the Bennington show with you and Gail?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you got the show Unmasked, which is one of my favorites. It's done live. You get these big crowds, and you get the biggest names in comedy. And, you know, also Ron Bennington interviews, Sirius XM Channel 102, Indie Talk Radio Channel, 9 o'clock each night. I think you're going to go down as one of the greatest interviews in our industry.
Well, that's very nice to hear. It's a lot of fun, as you know. And really, you know, there's a great booking department here to get a lot of those people, because that's the tough thing about it, right?
It's the toughest part about it.
If you don't have a good guest, what's the whole point of making a big deal out of it? But this is kind of cool, and I know that you would dig this. I'm doing Dan Soder, and he more or less, as a young comic, heard the Patrice thing. Right, he heard the Patrice Unmasked that I did, which was like my second one, and was like, that's where I'm going. This is what I'm shooting for.
Yeah.
So as he showed up to do the show, he was moved that this was a goal of his to have the kind of career that he would be able to sit down on the stage in front of people and talk about. You know,
it's incredible.
And then from that, it kind of, you know, was interesting to me, because that's all. I mean, to have a show that somebody would want to do that they've waited 10 years or whatever to do, that was pretty touching. And everybody loves Dan.
Yeah, I love Dan, especially because he's a Niner fan like me.
Yeah.
I like that about him, too. He's funny. He's really funny.
Are you nervous as hell this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's terrible when your team is good. Man.
I know.
It's terrible.
There's so much more on the line. Like, I'm a Lions fan, too, because I'm in Detroit. It's like, whatever. They're going to suck every year. Who cares? But I get way invested, man, and this is a scary year because it took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, and then you never know how long this window is going to be open.
I know,
right?
I know.
You know, is it open 1 year? Is it open 3 years? Like, right now, I think probably the Vikings fans are the craziest. Like, they know this. They can't be this close to the top for so long.
I know. It's like the St. Louis Blues of hockey, although they won one recently. But, the Rams are feeling that now. Like, what the fuck? We were almost undefeated last year in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now we're third place and, you know, probably not going to even get into the tournament.
I mean, that's what happens. Look at Philadelphia. Look at Atlanta. They've dropped down to their nobody.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Moments away from it. And I think Philadelphia, okay, you won your Super Bowl. Now everybody can go sit down for a while, you know?
Yeah.
put on the DVD and remember your magical year.
Yeah, get that
But-
Sports Illustrated DVD of
Yeah,
NFL
you get that
films.
Sports Illustrated DVD. You feel so good about yourself.
Hell yeah.
But the 49ers, are they going to do it? This is the insanity.
You know, I like that they've been super competitive with really good teams, the Seahawks and the Ravens. I don't know, man. That Ravens team scares me a lot.
They scare me too, man.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. They're
Really
fun.
good.
And,
Yeah.
you know, their quarterback is going to have the shortest career ever, you know.
I know, right? You just every time he takes off, it's like, dude, he's gonna snap a leg, blow a knee out. It's just
I know.
inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's too bad, but yeah, he's fun to watch right now. You mentioned your show booker a minute ago, and I actually had written down this: whoever's booking your show must be working constantly.
Well, we have a couple of people in-house doing it. We've got Chris Stanley, my producer. We also have Deborah from the Interrobang. She's brought in
She's great.
acts. And then we also have the booking department here, which isn't just stand-ups. Sometimes, you know, hey, there's a movie opening, and they would love to do it. So you get that kind of thing where there's movie stars in it, you know.
Yeah. Well,
And then also I'm in New York City.
yeah. I was gonna say
So-
you're in New York City. That does help.
Yeah, it helps. It helps a ton, you know, because you don't have to wait for, you know, once a year to see Dave Attell come through. Even though I got to tell you, it took us years to get Attell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he doesn't want to do it. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to sit down and be interviewed either. It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm sorry to do that to you today, but you know, Dave Attell's interesting because he came on the morning show I worked on, you know, the big rock station in Detroit. He would do that show, but now his show's going to sell out. He doesn't need to come on this show, and so he, you know, every time I try to get him on, he won't come on, and you know, but it's like I guess I understand he doesn't need to do it.
Yeah, but it also, like, he's not really a let me push my career guy to
No, that's
begin
true.
with.
Yeah.
So normally, I remember even the first, I don't know, half dozen shows that he did, he would bring somebody with him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He'd be like, I want to bring this kid in.
Yeah.
I'd be like, cool, whatever you want to do.
Well,
You know?
looking at the list of some of the people, I imagine people are coming to you guys now wanting to do it because I imagine it's really hard to get an interview with Phil Collins, Stevie Van Zandt, Julian Lennon, Buzz Aldrin, Spike Lee, Willie Nelson. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg of the people that have been in with you and done an hour.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And, you know, the weird thing is Buzz Aldrin, for me, was much more important than to anybody who's younger than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember when to me, NASA and Motown are the only reason to celebrate the 1960s. Nothing else impressed me except for those two things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, like, kids would understand what it was like to be waiting for someone to land on the moon. We were pulling our hair out.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. And was he a good guest?
Buzz? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he's an old crazy guy who,
Yeah.
you know, is fun. A lot, to me, some of the hardest guests are actors because you don't realize that they need somebody to write stuff up for them. And it's always amazing to me when I know something more about the subject than they do. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I've taken more of an interest in what this movie is about. You know? But then Tarantino was in this week, and Tarantino is fascinating. You know what I mean?
He's a weirdo, but he's fascinating.
Yeah, but weird and cool are much closer together than kids think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan is weird and cool.
Ugh.
Miles Davis was weird and cool, you know?
Your hero, Lou Reed.
Weird and cool, man. You're like, I don't even know if he's a good, you know,
Yeah.
if he's a good person. But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. You don't want to be a regular person, you know, and those are always to me, the best of the best.
Oh,
Look at this tour that we got, the Creeps with Kids. This is 4 weird guys
Yeah.
who are also very cool.
Have you run into that where you get that De Niro interview that just sucks, where you can't pull it out of a guest and
You
get
know,
much?
there's been probably, and people wouldn't understand this, only a couple, like you could probably count it on one hand of people that, and then you find out later they just don't want to be there for some reason. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
just came in the wrong thing. But most of the time when I do something, I'll see when something clicks where they go to themselves, oh, okay, so you're not going to ask me about, an ex-girlfriend or a project that I did 25 years ago. You're going to talk to me about why I do the things that I do. So, I mean, a lot of stuff with interviews that the reason why they go so bad is because there's so many bad people that interview people in show business.
Well, you get a it's so much easier when you have someone in person. Like I did an interview with Scott Ian from Anthrax and talked to him for a half hour or so, and it took 15 minutes before he finally opened up and was like, okay, these guys aren't here to fuck with me.
Yeah.
And it's like that doesn't happen in person as much, where you can look at someone and I don't know. It's harder. It's harder. I'm just.
Well, radio, particularly morning radio, has a long fucking thing of we're going to fuck this guy over and then try to get everybody to, laugh at his expense. I've done it myself when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I get it. I get why they wouldn't trust anybody, But, at the end of the day, if you got into this business, the truth is you probably love music, you love movies, you love books, you love TV shows, you love art. And when you can find another person and share that with, it's pretty amazing.
It's special. It sure is. And so, is there anybody that you'd love to interview that you just can't book, you just can't get to come on the show?
Well, I mean, obviously I think some of those things are always there's an opportunity to do it. Because when most people bring that up, they want you to catch that person at the right time, right? Mm-hmm. So they want you to say, I got Russell Brand now, not Russell Brand 2 years later.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's
so when people say that's good, you either got a legend, but would I love to talk to Lorne Michaels or Steve Martin? Absolutely. Woody Allen is another one. But is there any reason that they'd be out doing it? So you just wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I always feel bad when someone dies that I didn't have the opportunity to do.
Did you ever get to talk to Lou Reed? Did you ever
Lou, I didn't have. I had so many people around him. I've done his wife. I talked to Bowie once on the phone, but I would have loved to sat down and talk, music with David Bowie.
I ask about Lou Reed because I didn't know much about Lou Reed, and I loved Satellite of Love, which was your intro music for a few years during the Ron and Fez show. And I thought the tribute you did when he passed away in 2013 was amazing. And I didn't know him much, and you really humanized him and made him someone that I was like, I got to do more research on Lou Reed. I didn't retain much of it, Ron, I'll be honest with you. But I remember thinking, wow, that was really fucking cool what you did.
I don't even remember anything of that. And that happens in radio all the time.
All the time.
In castles.
Yeah.
But everybody has that version of somebody who kept them going when they were young. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that when you get older, you're like, oh, if I didn't listen to that album, who knows what it became of me,
Yeah.
And I had so many people like that, comics that I would wait to show up on the Tonight Show and look forward to, or somebody was waiting for an album to come out, or I can't imagine what I owe Jack Nicholson for, getting me through a couple years.
Well, it's funny, and I'll let you go here in a minute. I know, your time is limited. I think you got a show coming up too. But I really, I wanted to talk about radio with you, and because I know you're a radio guy in Florida and in D.C., I think, in New York, obviously. Yeah. And I was in Detroit most of my career. And, you would get interviews that were 8 minutes, 12 minutes. Stern would, of course, get the big interview. And we'd get these 8-minute interviews, and you're plugging their shit most of the time. And I don't know. I just love this style of whether it's podcasting or satellite radio thing where you're doing these hour-long interviews, and we're doing those too. I wouldn't have been able to get Ron Bennington for 30 minutes, back in the day, And I really that's one of the coolest things in this media landscape right now.
Well, I mean, to me, nothing is crazier than podcasting. How it's taken off and how it works. But I I love the idea of old terrestrial radio. We're never going to go back to that.
Yeah.
But I love that thing of you're in a town, a ton of people are listening to that show, and you could say something that could make people, repeat it or do it again, or everybody go. I love the idea that you could bring up a speed trap or a pothole and have everybody know what it's about.
Yeah.
But I think with podcasting or satellite, you have to say, okay, I'm not doing that kind of radio anymore.
Right.
That belongs there.
Yeah.
And I don't hear about anybody in terrestrial who's happy right now.
No, me either.
Sad.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And I was miserable the last few years. It was like I was listening to satellite radio. I don't think I've turned my car radio on in years. And we'll never go back to that. I wonder if there will be a place always for a terrestrial radio, or if it's just going to wash out at some point.
I mean, I guess it's like what AM radio later turned into, where, maybe it'll just always be for the very oldest people alive. But,
right.
When you watch that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it was everybody who was listening to that station.
Yeah.
It was the soundtrack of an entire city. I mean, there's something beautiful about that. I mean, even look at, when the Beatles did Ed Sullivan, right?
Yeah.
Something like 150 million people were watching.
Yeah.
Now, on the Tonight Show, gets like 2.5 million people. You're never going to get.
Never.
We all experienced that together.
Yeah. MASH holds the record for the highest rated, viewers. That will never be broken.
No.
Unless,
the only thing that'll happen is some tragedy, you know what I mean? Like everybody will turn on the TV at the same time.
Yeah, true.
To watch Houston blow up.
Ron Bennington, thank you so much for the time, buddy. Creeps with Kids.
Mike, thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm going to bug Deborah to have you on again at some point, and I've got a new bucket list that I want to end up on your show at some point too. So.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I'd love to have you on. Seriously.
Yeah.
When you come to New York, you just don't have to do the alt-right show. You're welcome here.
I'd love to do it, man. I love it.
All right.
CreepsWithKidsTour.com. Go. I'll plug this shit when you're off the line, but thank you so much, Ron. Had a blast.
Thanks, brother. Take care.
Take care. CreepsWithKidsTour.com for tickets. Emerald Theater in Mount Clemens, Saturday, January 18th. Ron Bennington, Robert Kelly, Rich Voss, Jim Florentine. A lot of people would know Florentine. He's on Crank Anchors. So if you're a fan of that, the Crank Call stuff, he played Special Ed. And he worked with Eminem on some of those things.
Crank Anchors is back.
I know. He's on it, too.
I don't even I haven't watched it yet, but it almost shocks me. I don't even know how they can do it.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
In a way, but it is.
Yeah.
Is what's his name? Is Jimmy Kimmel doing it?
I think so,
I do
dude.
too.
I think so.
I do
and
too.
Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Creeps, Kreeps. That's so funny, Creeps with Kids, and that's what the reason was for not having it spelled with a C. I just didn't think about it. I figured it was some I don't know.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just saying once you hear it,
Yeah, it's like, duh.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole. So these are true, legitimate headliners. Ron Bennington, I think, does like a what do they call, master of ceremonies type thing, and in the beginning, and these guys come out and just crush for a while.
Yeah.
And tickets start at $30. It will sell out. It's selling really well now. I don't know how many tickets are left, but again, it's Saturday, January 18th at the Emerald Theater, Mount Clemens. Let's go represent Detroit. Show these guys what it's about. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys out there. And thanks again to Ron Bennington. What a blast talking to him.
You've been bold with Harry, Mark, and John. Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, all right. Well, come to the end of the line, guys. Run out of time. Want to thank T-Roy for filling in.
Yep.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, always fun to have you around. I like your shirt. I smoke, and I know things.
That's the word on the street.
It's beautiful. Isis, it's always, yeah. Then thank you to Ron Bennington as well. It's
Yeah, that
a
was
pleasure
great.
talking to him. What a great guy. That was really cool. I would have been really bummed if he would have been an asshole.
Yeah.
That would have sucked, 'cause I've liked him for a long, long time.
Yeah, it should be a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. Creeps with Kids. Can't wait. No, I'm kidding. Jesus. Thanks for being here, buddy. Couldn't do it without you. All right, have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.